Story 1. The Last Letter from Brooklyn. It was a rainy April afternoon when Sarah found the old letter. She was cleaning out her grandmother's attic in Brooklyn, a chore she had put off for years. Dust clung to her gloves, and the scent of old wood and forgotten memories lingered in the air. She pulled open a rusted tin box hidden beneath yellowing photo albums, and inside lay a single envelope, unopened, addressed to her grandmother. The handwriting was elegant, slanted, and careful. The sender, James L. Carter, U.S. Army. The postmark, April 1945. Curious, Sarah sat down on a rickety wooden stool and opened the letter carefully, the paper brittle with age. Greater than my dearest Eleanor, if you're reading this, I hope the war has ended and I've made it back to Brooklyn. But if I haven't, know that my last thoughts were of you. I remember the way you laughed on our last walk down Flatbush Avenue, your hand in mine, as if nothing could touch us. I've kept that memory with me through every night in France, through every moment I thought I wouldn't see tomorrow. I love you, always. Yours, James. Sarah's fingers trembled. Her grandmother Eleanor had never spoken of James. She had only ever mentioned her late husband, Richard, a quiet man who had worked for the city's sanitation department. But this letter, so full of emotion, belonged to a different story. She went downstairs, letter in hand. Her grandmother, now 92, sat by the window, her eyes watching the rain like it held stories she hadn't yet told. "Grandma," Sarah said softly, kneeling by her side. "Who was James Carter?" Eleanor's gaze didn't waver. She sighed, her lips pressing together before she finally turned to her granddaughter. "I wondered if you'd ever find that. Why didn't you ever mention him?" Eleanor took the letter, her hands delicate but steady. "Because loving someone you lose too young feels like a secret the world won't understand." She leaned back, her voice soft but clear. "James and I met in 1943. He was stationed near Brooklyn before being sent overseas. We were young and stupid, but it was real. We planned to marry after the war. Then he left for France." Sarah sat quietly, letting her grandmother's voice fill the silence. "I wrote to him every week. He replied when he could. Then one day, the letters stopped. I never got confirmation of his death. Just nothing. I waited a year. Then Richard came into my life, gentle, kind. He knew I was broken. He loved me anyway." "Did you love him?" Sarah asked. "I grew too. But not the same way. Some loves are bright and fast like fire. Others are slow and steady like embers. James was my fire." The rain tapped harder against the window, like the past was knocking. "Why keep the letter?" "Because it was the last piece of him," Eleanor whispered. "It arrived months after the war ended. I couldn't bring myself to open it. I wanted to believe he might still come home. Once I read it, it would mean he never would." Sarah's eyes brimmed with tears. "You never forgot him?" "No," Eleanor said with a wistful smile. "And that's okay. Life doesn't always give us perfect endings. But it gives us chapters. Richard was a beautiful chapter. James was the beginning." They sat together in silence, generations joined by the words of a man lost to time. Later that evening, Sarah typed out the letter and printed a copy, placing it in a frame beside a photo of her grandmother as a young woman. She looked radiant, standing beneath the Brooklyn Bridge, her hair pinned up, a slight smile on her lips. On the back, in faded ink, was written, "For James. Always waiting." For Sarah, that day in the attic wasn't just a glimpse into her grandmother's past, it was a reminder that love, even lost love, shapes who we become. And sometimes, a letter lost in dust can bring light to memories buried in silence.